What's up guys, Cretan here from LogicLounge.com. Today Amazon had a huge Kindle announcement and we have everything you need to know on all the new devices released. Alright, somewhere in Santa Monica, California, Amazon had a huge event today with tons of people showing up and a lot of new products being released. Like 7 new devices are about to come out here in the very near future, and I have everything that you need to know about those new devices, plus new services that is coming out as well with those. So let's get started with the new Kindle. Brand new Kindle called Kindle Paperwhite. Kindle Paperwhite is the name for their newest Kindle, which the screen is supposed to resemble more like a book paper. It's boasting that it's 25% more contrast over the older Kindle, plus 212 pixels per inch, plus whiter whites, blacker blacks, basically just an overall improvement all over. One of the biggest features that people are sure to love is what is called Light Guide. Light Guide. Light Guide is a method of distributing light across the screen of the Kindle. So, Paperwhite, guess what? It is now backlit, or I guess lit. It's really lit from the outer edges, but that's not important. The most important thing is that it's now lit. So when you're laying in bed at night, you can read a book, or if you're in a dark situation, you can read a book. Nice light there for you. It has 8 weeks of battery life. Yeah, 8 weeks of battery life. That's 2 months. 2 months of battery life to be able to deal with. You don't have to like plug it in. You don't have to plug it in at all for 2 full months. It's amazing. That's about a month more than the Kindle has right now. They boasted it's 9.1 millimeters thin, 7.5 ounces, and they have this new feature that lets you see how much time you have left with the book. So it kind of algorithmically kind of takes how many pages you're turning every so minutes, and then it kind of calculates, okay, well, you have this many hours or this many minutes left on your book. So let's say you're going on a 6-hour plane ride and you only had 2 hours left on your book. Well, you might want to get a new book before you leave so you can start it after you're done reading the book, maybe on the plane. They also have a 3G version coming out as well. They both ship October 1st, $119 for the one without 3G and $179 for the one with 3G. And of course, if you don't want to spend that much money and you're just like a regular person who loves just the down to basic stuff, they still have the Kindle, the regular Kindle, the original Kindle is still available. They've updated it. It doesn't have a touch screen. It just has buttons. That is $69, just 69 bucks for a Kindle. I mean, how much lower does how much lower does Amazon have to make their e-reader to encourage you to get one? 69 bucks, ships September 14th. That's the earliest of the ship dates so far. And before we get into the Kindle Fire stuff, there was 3 kind of software-ish announcements. One of them is Kindle Direct Publishing. Allows people like me or you to publish our own books through Kindle without having to go through a publisher. So it's just you and Amazon who'll be selling the books. You don't have to split it with a publisher or have to deal with publishers. You can publish it yourself for free. You retain your copyrights. Everything is basically retained to you. You get 70% of the royalties, and you can get your book up in mere hours, not weeks or months or even years. You can get it set up within mere hours, and that's really, really cool. And hopefully LogicLounge will be having an ebook coming out very soon. We'll make that available on the Kindle store. Stuff in the future, though. There's also something called Kindle Singles, which is just Kindle books that have one publication, meaning that it's not a series of books like Harry Potter. It's just one book and that's it. And a lot of those get on the top 50 lists. Really cool for Amazon. They just wanted to boast that feature. But one of the really cool things that I found that they released today was called Kindle Serials. Kindle Serials is a buy once, receive all future deal. So you buy one book for some price, and then you get all the books in the rest of the series when they come out for no extra charge. So let's say you were buying the first book of the Hunger Games. You would only have to pay one price for the book. When the other books come out, guess what? they're automatically put on your Kindle store, given to you for free because you paid that one price. And that's really cool. It's called Kindle Serial, so check that out. Now on to the big contender, the Kindle Fire, which kind of was taking a shot at the Nexus 7. So they kept the original Kindle Fire. They're boasting as a faster processor, 2 times more RAM, 40% more faster performance, and a longer battery life. That's just the original Kindle, and it's set to ship September 14th for $159. But if you're even more extravagant, Amazon has more for you, which is the Kindle Fire HD. The Kindle Fire HD comes in both a 7-inch and an 8.9-inch versions. The 8.9-inch and I believe the 7-inch too have 1080p, 254 pixels per inch there and about. They have very anti-glare screens via new technology that actually eliminates the air in between the top surface and the LCD screen. So there's no air in between there, dramatically reduces glare, and that's one of their kind of big features about this new Kindle Fire. There are 2 types of applications now that will be used with the Kindle Fire. They're HD applications and SD applications, kind of like what you see on the iPad, Apple's App Store, where you have HD apps and non-Retina HD apps. And of course, those mess with the sizes of the apps, the quality, and stuff like that. So when you have your Kindle Fire and you have the HD version, be sure to look out for that. They also are not using a Tegra processor at all. They're actually using a Texas Instruments OMAP 4470 processor, which is supposed to give overall better performance, like they said, like 50% performance gains over the Tegra 3, which was just about in there. One of the things that I found very interesting for a tablet of its size, and especially from Amazon, it has dual speakers. There are 2 speakers, and they're up to the performance of Dolby Digital Sound. So they've worked with Dolby to get sound into the Kindle Fire HD. That sounds amazing, and can't wait to get our hands on it to try it. One of the things that the Kindle Fire HD has over the iPad or any other device is that it has dual Wi-Fi antennas, and it uses a service, well, not really a service, a technology called MIMO, M-I-M-O. And it basically, if you were in a cave and you hear echoes, your sound is going everywhere. Well, MIMO is supposed to take those echoes and actually interpret them to give you better receptiveness, better clarity of your device, because it's getting those echoes like off of walls, off of, you know, whatever have you. So I found that kind of interesting to try out. It does have 2.4 and 5 gigahertz spectrum antennas, so you can get both of those. Basically, it's up to date with all of the starting networking out there. One of the things, though, that we found very interesting, there's no more 8 gig anymore. No more 8 gig Kindle Fire. It starts at 16. You can also get 32 gigabytes as well. It has 2 services called Whisper Sync, which lets you sync applications and data between maybe your desktop or your Kindle Fires or multiple Kindle Fires. And it's really cool with games, because let's say you were playing Angry Birds and you got up to like level 100 or whatever. And then you maybe had to switch to another Kindle, or you got a new one, and you're like, I don't want to like reset my game. Well, you don't have to anymore. Amazon has something called Whisper Sync, and Whisper Sync will actually sync your achievements, everything that you have from Kindle to Kindle, which is really cool, and I think Apple should take note of that, definitely. There's also something called Kindle Free Time. So if you have little kids, I mean, you want your kids to be able to use their devices for a certain amount of time before it's time to do homework, it's time to do, you know, something. And so this free time app lets you set up specific profiles. So let's say you had one for each of your 3 kids, and you can allow them to use, well, they can use an hour of game time, an hour of movie time, stuff like that. So you can schedule the time they're able to use their devices, and then they have to do homework or go to sleep or, you know, what have you. So I thought that was really cool. There's also HDMI out, which is really cool. So if you need to plug it into a big TV, you can do that. Play your movies with Netflix or Prime Video streaming. You can do that with the HDMI out, which is really cool. It also has Bluetooth as well thrown in there. Thought that was really cool for the HDMI out part. So for the 7-inch tablet, it starts at 16 gigabytes. You can get it for $199. starting September 14th is when it'll ship out. You can pre-order now, and if you want to pre-order any of the devices herein mentioned and after this as well, look below. We have all the links there for you. You can use them. It gives us credit and also lets you pre-order, and it's a quick link to go there so you don't have to go to like Amazon.com and search, well, where do I pre-order it? Click the links down below. There's also the 8.9-inch tablet. You can get it for 16 gigabytes. Again, is their lowest end model for $299, and it will be available November 20th for the 8.9-inch model. But wait, there's more. There's a $499 tablet. Basically it's the Kindle Fire HD 8.9-inch tablet, but it has 4G LTE, and we assume that it's AT&T's 4G LTE, so you'll be able to use it. And this one actually comes with a contract, unlike the regular Kindles where you're able to not use a contract with 3G. With the 4G LTE, you will be tied to a contract. Of course, you can break it at any time, but it's kind of a cool contract. So for $49.99 a year, you get 250 megabits per month of bandwidth. You get 20 gigabytes of cloud storage and $10 of App Store credit. And I'm not sure if that $10 App Store credit will add on for every year that you use it. I would assume that. So every year you get $10 of credit to the App Store, which is kind of cool. So for 50 bucks, you can get 4G LTE, use it anywhere you want to go on a Kindle Fire. That's the first time that we've seen actually data being put into a Kindle Fire. So that's kind of cool. One thing that I wanted to talk about that I don't think people realize yet is that the Kindle Fire HD, and I believe the Kindle Fire 2, they're ad supported. So you'll see sponsored ads on your Kindle Fire, probably in the carousel. And I'm not sure people realize this yet, but there's no way to opt out of that. So when you buy a Kindle Fire, there's no way to not get it with ad-supported ads. You have to get it with the ad-supported ads. So that might turn off a couple people, but you never know. And I'm sure Amazon will somehow respond to this in some way and give some way to opt out. But again, this is like an hour or two after the event, so we don't know exactly yet. And as I read the rest of my notes off of my handy-dandy iPad, hopefully a Kindle Fire maybe soon, but I like my iPad. That's it. That's all my notes. That's all I had for the Kindle Fire event. It was a huge event, lots of information, like 7 devices were debuted, so that's a lot to go through. Again, if you want to pre-order any of the devices, link below, check them out, gives us credit, links you directly to the page that you need to be at. So if you have any questions for me, email me, Creighton@LogicLounge.com. And until our next video, we'll see you guys later.